You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
Derrial got his best wig on.
Yeah, that's who I am right now. What's up, everybody? It's Friday, January 16th, and you are here with us, Black Hollywood Live, for This Week. And I have a new crew going down in the studio this week.
You got your white boys.
I got the white boys, and obviously I am not Derrial Christon. I am Courtney Stewart, and joining me today, I have DJ Jesse J. What's up? And on the end over there, somebody we don't get to see very often. Usually he is our angry white man in the booth, but he is on camera today, y'all. We got Phil Svitek in the house.
I've changed my ways.
He's changed his ways.
That's Stephen Lemieux. Am I on?
Yeah, I can hear you, kind of.
All right, I feel
I hope you're on.
There we
Yeah,
go. That's
you're on.
better.
You're
That's
on.
better.
There you go. All right. So
I can't be
guys,
silenced today.
he cannot be silenced today. We got a lot to talk about. We're
about to
going to
get
be
real.
talking about lots of things, from Tupac to Nancy Grace to Kenya Moore and lots more than that. So first up, we want to talk to you guys about the buzzer meter question. Unfortunately, last week, our buzzer meter question, we had a few technical difficulties, so we don't have any results for you this week. But we have a new question that we want you guys to head over to blackhollywoodlive.com. Vote. We want to know who you think won the debate. Was it Nancy Grace or 2 Chainz? And y'all gonna hear a little bit more about that story in a few minutes from Jesse J. So I'm gonna just throw it right over to you with our trending topics this week. What you got?
So a lot was going on Twitter this week.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys remember this family. It was Cordell and Caleb, these gay
So
couple.
cute.
And they had taken a picture with 2 of their daughters doing their hair, and it went viral. And everyone was so offended that this couple was mixed. People loved it. People hated on it. It was just this big ordeal last year.
Yes.
Well, Nikon, the camera company, is using them for a campaign called I Am Generation Image. And what it is they put these videos together that talk about inspiring stories. And because this one image went viral like this, and these guys are almost a role model to society today, you know, to show that, look, we're gay, we're, you know,
We raising girls.
Raising girls.
And there ain't nothing wrong with it.
ain't nothing wrong with it. So they're using this Nikon's I Am Generation image campaign. You guys can check it out on Nikon's website and whatnot, and to check out the full video and story. And just congratulations.
I know, congratulations. They got some
You know,
college
those are-
funds they can build up.
Okay.
on those
that's a
coins.
real cute picture.
Those are some nice coins. Okay, we like it.
And a good platform for something family fun.
Yes.
So, moving on from that.
Ooh.
Well, this is a really interesting story we talked about on The Beat, and I had to put it on this week because I just need to know what y'all think. So, a North Carolina minister, his name is Paul Scott. He is the founder of Messianic African Nation. He feels that it's time to put an end to Martin Luther King Day, MLK Day, because...
An end?
Well, he feels like it just kind of needs to be replaced. Reason being, he says, for the younger hip-hop generation, Tupac Shakur is more of a martyr than someone like Martin Luther King. In 2015, a slain rapper is more relevant than a slain reverend. He said, black people never picked Martin Luther King to be our eternal leader. White folk did that. It's time for us to pick our own heroes. So what he is asking is for African Americans this Monday, the 19th, MLK Day, he's asking that the black community helps find a new black role model by hashtagging new black hero with whoever they think. He thinks it should be Tupac. What do you guys think?
He wants
Let me ask
people
this.
vote.
First off, like, is there full significance to the day that we celebrate Martin Luther King?
Well,
Like
his
it's-
birthday is,
okay.
they try to do it on his birthday, but it's usually whatever the Monday, it's observed on the Monday.
So why would you replace his birthday for somebody? Here's the thing. I don't think you need to replace Martin Luther King
Thank
and
you.
that celebration. If you want to add another leader, by all means, but you don't need, like, it's not like we're going to replace Christmas with something else. Like, there's room out there for multiple celebrations.
Somebody else was born other than Jesus, so let's, like, do a different one. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, but how do you feel about the fact? I mean, it is stupid to say, like, let's
the
get rid of
replacement
it.
part is, I think, is stupid. I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, deciding to, like, make these other people heroes, so to speak. But I feel like you do that anyway. Like, you choose who you look up to and who you admire
idolize.
and whatever. To say that Martin Luther King is less relevant than
a slain rapper.
That's sad. I think that's a problem.
That's what drives me crazy. Is this is a problem,
and
like,
we shouldn't encourage that.
Yeah, why are we saying, oh, so you know what? These kids don't know anything about MLK, so fuck it. Let's put Tupac as the new face.
No.
Like, whoa.
Here's what you have to look at. Martin Luther, part of the reason why we're celebrating these people is because they enacted change through through actual Congress and whatever else. And so Tupac, although inspirational and things like that, to my knowledge, he has not enacted
He didn't have
something.
any congressional bills or anything. I mean, look, artistically speaking, obviously he has a voice and he spoke to the hearts of many and didn't live long enough, as long as he should have, to do all the great things he maybe was supposed to do. But replacing Martin Luther King on a debate of relevance is just absurd. And if we don't know anything, Martin Luther King ain't even a little bit irrelevant in the world we live in today. So the idea that he even said that out loud is a problem.
Look at the movie that just came out. You know what I mean? Like,
look at the Voter Rights Act that is basically been destroyed this year. So don't trip. You're confused, brother. Y'all need to keep reading.
like, if we're gonna replace a holiday, let's look at Columbus Day.
Yeah, let's because we talked about that last year. Yeah, let's maybe Tupac's Day can be on Columbus Day. Let's try that.
Thanksgiving, we can give thanks to our favorite past.
But at the same time, I get you want kind of a more national platform, but at the same time, like to Courtney's point, how many people, if you want to celebrate someone's birthday or whatever, or whoever means to you, like, I mean, how many people are going to be celebrating Robin Williams? You know, the anniversary of his death or his birthday, or whatever. You pick and choose. There's a way to celebrate everyone.
Yes, it doesn't have to be a national holiday for that to be the case.
Well,
sorry, Reverend, whatever your name is. Try again.
Paul Scott. All right. Moving on to this is my favorite topic of the week.
I watched it over
and over again.
It was kind of comedic.
So Nancy Grace had 2 Chainz on.
2 Chainz.
And they had this debate about pot, legalizing pot.
Why are we still talking about this?
And just I couldn't even take Nancy Grace, like, her conversation. Every time she used the word pot, bothered me. Pot. And so basically the conversation is this. She's against it. 2 Chainz is for it.
Of course.
So in her debate about pot, she kept playing these videos of... I'm going to be careful about the words that I use calling people. But so she put these videos online that were of these parents, giving their children what looked like marijuana. Like, some kids were smoking a blunt, some kids were smoking a pot, smoking a bowl. And she's saying that when you smoke pot, this is what happens. If we make pot legal, so many people are going to be giving their kids pot and, forcing these kids to smoke weed and whatnot. Now,
by the way, totally approved by Edison Research itself. Like, you can't just show one video.
Well, she wasn't. She showed 5.
Amazing. I want to see some sort of actual case study that, hey, you know what? Whatever. You need actual stats. Like, that's going for the sympathy card.
Yes.
And of course, you're going to be able to convert viewers just like that.
But here's where she didn't convert me, because I was listening to because I'm open to hearing why people feel certain ways. But when you have a guest on your show, now you're having rapper 2 Chainz on your show.
Yes.
And how she introduced him, she was downgrading him. She was like, here on the show, we have acclaimed rapper 2 Chainz, a.k.a. Titty Boy, a.k.a. T something. And then finally she was like, and then how do you say your real name? And then she said his real name. Oh. And it's just like, that was just so...
So like, it came off condescending to begin with.
He graduated college with a 4.0, scholarship.
I didn't know that.
Yep, scholarship fully for basketball. Never did drugs until after high school. He sold them because he had to support his family in high school, but never smoked anything, never did any drugs until after that. Okay. And it's like, Nancy, look at who you're talking to, and I don't know. It's just
Well, she did it for ratings, obviously.
Of
That's why
course.
2 Chainz is on her show, because it makes no sense. Nancy Grace, 2 Chainz. Okay, great. Whatever. I'm over the pot debate. Like, just the same way that we've legalized alcohol in this country doesn't mean every parent is like handing their kid alcohol.
But isn't
there is something
that's
to
a normal thing?
Well, I was going
Like,
to say there's
my dad
also
gave me,
something to
like-
be said about demystifying liquor and drugs in this country instead of living in this sort of fake puritanical state where we believe like we're
I like that.
keeping our kids from any idea, like the idea of talking about sex or talking about liquor or talking about weed is like something horrific that's going to drive. Like people in Europe give their kids drinks like it goes with dinner and it's fine, and they grow up and they're not like running to get binge
Hammered.
drinking when they're 18 years old. So maybe if we allow it into a space that is safe, there's going to be people that are going to do it that didn't do it before because it is legal, because there are some people that won't do it because it is illegal. But that does not mean that every child in the country, and if anything, that means you need to deal with their parents, because their parents are effing up.
And that was 2 Chainz's biggest debate with this. He was like, "You're showing me videos of idiotic parents." He's like, you know what I mean? Like, do you give your child Tylenol? Do you give your child certain foods, certain things like that? Like you're putting processed foods into your children. What is
And
that
you're fine
doing
with
to them?
that. Mm-hmm.
You know, we look at certain things, we pick and choose. You know, 2 Chainz said, "I do not. My daughters do not drink soda. They have never had a taste of soda." And she went
Like
on to
ever?
say ever. And she went on to say that she doesn't allow her kids to have soda. And he said, "Okay." He said, "But you hear the lyrics that I write." He said, "You hear the, I talk about smoking weed, drinking, and, fucking whores and all these things." He said, "But look at how I raise my daughters." He said, "It all comes down to how you raise your children. You can't show me 5 videos of irresponsible, drunk, crackhead parents giving their child a blunt. That's not normal. That is not normal. That's
not
exactly. That's
acceptable.
not a case for marijuana." I can't. So yeah, there we go. That's my topics.
Well, we ain't got no money, so can we just legalize marijuana and tax that shit and be done? All right.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and you guys make sure you guys check out our other website, AfterBuzzTV.com. It's our sister site. Would AfterBuzz be the sister site or
Sister.
brother site?
Sister, brother, I
Sister,
don't know.
brother, mother,
I always try to
Family, we family.
cousin.
Well,
Well, that's kind of weird. Cousin, our cousin site, like that's weird.
Our cuz. AfterBuzz TV, After Show Network for your favorite TV shows. Whatever your favorite TV show is, as soon as it's done, make sure you hit up AfterBuzz TV. Like maybe Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know?
Except the weird ones.
Except the weird ones. You have
Is
to
that the
watch the
name of
weird
the
ones
show?
too.
No, I'm just no. We've gotten some weird requests. I'm like, I've never heard of
What's
this
the
show.
weirdest show request we've ever gotten? And you were like, we're not doing
Like
that.
what show is that?
Like I heard that someone wanted to start the View after show.
No, but at least I've heard of The View. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, you just haven't heard of the show.
It's like on channel 684. Like, like what channel?
That's not a
even is
channel
that?
on FiOS. No.
Sorry.
In case you guys are confused, that's Phil who runs AfterBuzz TV. So that's
right.
why he knows all those details.
That's right.
Speaking of details, we got some gossip going on this week with some people saying some stuff, which is really funny because I'm in studio with white folks today. So let's find out what the white folks think. All right. So this week, speaking of The View, Miss Naya Rivera, who is on The View, basically word on the street is potentially auditioning because word on the street is that Rosie Perez is leaving, but we don't know about that, y'all. That's just word on the street.
I did
Because in
not know
case you've
that
been
tea.
confused since The View came back after the holiday, Whoopi's been missing and Rosie Perez has been missing. Rosie is auditioning, or Rosie is rehearsing for a Larry David play, I believe.
Rosie or Whoopi?
Rosie Perez is. Whoopi has been injured on her. She had surgery on her back or something, so she's been out. And supposedly Rosie Perez has just been rehearsing and she'll be back. But it has been rumored, and I believe Variety even made a report saying that Rosie was not coming back because she wasn't ready for the commitment that it was going to take every single day and still be able to do the other things she wants to do. But that's the
How many
rumor.
days has Naya been doing?
Naya did it twice, I believe. I'm not sure because I didn't see every episode this week, but I know she was on twice. So the first day she was on Tuesday, and they were having a little conversation, chatting it up, and then the conversation came up that Nicole Wallace, the Republican, who I never remember who she is. I'm so sorry, Nicole, but I don't. Anyway, so the conversation came up that she showers like 3-4 times a day, and Rosie O'Donnell was making fun of her, like, you shower after, like, everything. You shower after this, you shower after that, you shower after this. And she started to explain, like, I shower in the morning, I get done at work, and I want to shower again, and then I have a baby, so I shower after that, and blah, 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 blah. So Naya tuned in, like, chimed in with her little comment, and she just sort of jokingly said, I really think that all, like, showering, like, so often like that is a white people thing. So everybody was like, ooh.
Even the woman in the audience.
And then there was a woman in the audience who was a black woman that Rosie O'Donnell, like, points out and is like, you're a black woman? Is she telling the truth? And she was like, no, I shower. But then it became a whole thing about her saying that black people don't shower, which was not what she was saying. She was just saying, like, excessive showering in her mind seems like a white people thing. And then she referred to her husband, who she just married, is a white guy, and says that he showers like 3 times a day, and she thought it was like the strangest thing ever. The next day, she came back over Twitter and she made a like half-assed apology saying it was just a joke, which it kind of wasn't a joke.
Didn't she say she only showers 3 times a week? 3 to 4 times
Well, no,
a week?
that was the report that they ended up talking about, that there was a dermatologist report that says we are supposed to only shower technically for health reasons, maybe once every other day. So that would be 3 times a week. What y'all think? Y'all shower a lot?
I shower every day.
But that's not the question. It's not do you shower every day. It's do you shower multiple times a day.
I don't shower multiple times a day. First off, I don't got time for that. I am perfectly fine. Once every 1.5 days.
A day and a half. That's the.
A day and a half.
That's a good.
So that's normal.
Yeah. I mean,
Unless like you're absolutely, there's a difference if like you're absolutely doing so much athletic stuff,
Of course.
or like you're just being gross and dirty. Things happen. Like let's say it's raining out and you get every time you step outside you get muddy and things like that. Okay, circumstances.
That's circumstances.
But you don't need to do it multiple times.
Multiple times a day. Okay, so y'all aren't offended.
no.
Like,
I mean, first of all, like, that's a white people thing. Like, okay, so I'm clean. Like, it wasn't coming from me. If anything, if I felt like that.
Do you
was
take that as a dig by her saying that's a white people thing?
in a sense, because it's like that would be like being like, oh, you're eating chicken, like that's a black people thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like in the essence of you were categorizing a whole group of people because your boyfriend does that. Like, how many white people? Because and the bitch at the table is doing that. But like.
I know a lot of
Day and a
white
half.
people. Hold on, but I am
know.
an exception. I know
You're
a
an
lot of
exception.
white people that shower so many times. Like after, I could literally probably.
I know some
3
white
hours
people
a day.
that don't shower enough.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, it goes back and forth. But I thought it was interesting that everybody got like super offended when she said it's a white people thing, because I don't know if it's just because I'm used to certain comments being, some things, like we always say, belong at the kitchen table. Like, it shouldn't be said. But I've heard that comment about random things about white people like my whole life. Like, and I'm trying to think of an example at this moment.
So, white people use loofahs. Or those, is that what they're called?
Is a loofah like
A
the
loofah?
sponge?
Sponge thing in
Yeah.
the shower. And black people use rags because after you take a shower with your rag and you cleanse yourself, you take the rag and you put it in the hamper, where white people will use a loofah and then just leave it like on the side of the shower and keep reusing it for the week.
I didn't know that was a white people thing.
Well, we're in New York. When I lived in New York, my friends were like, because I don't use loofahs, and after they described that to me too, they were like, no, you use a rag, and I was like, oh, that makes more sense. That's kind of gross. That is kind of gross. I was like, is that a white people thing?
Yeah.
Here's okay, is this a white people? This has turned into just shower talk.
Like
a
shower
white
talk.
people
Is this a
thing?
white people thing?
I hate people that take like an hour and a half shower. And I'm like,
brother.
what?
That is.
You done in 10 minutes, 12, 15 tops. What are you doing?
Okay, sometimes washing hair and shaving takes longer. So
don't
Okay,
shave in the
20.
shower.
I brush my teeth because it's, I'd rather
Brushing
do
your
it in
teeth,
the
yeah.
shower with the hot water.
And it makes you feel like sometimes I'd be like, am I showering long enough? Like my brother would take like 45-minute to hour and a half showers.
he's killing the whales. What's up with that?
Bitch, and I'm sitting over here like, am I showering long enough? My roommate the other day was like, oh, I shower longer than both of y'all put together, me and my other roommate. And I'm sitting there
Well,
like,
it's bad for your skin, people out there. If you're showering for more than like 10, 15 minutes, all the steam and the chlorine in our water is not good for your skin or good for your lungs. So you might not want to be doing that.
the more you know.
The more you know, the more you know. But I do think, Naya, like, it was made a really big deal, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. And I guess everybody's like, well, that's kind of racist. But can't we just be like, because like then the conversation happens. Like I'd be like, that's a real white people thing. Because I tell like my white girlfriends things like that all the time. Like, that's a real white girl moment right there. And then we actually end up talking about it, and she'll be like, you don't do that for real? And the idea that people got so upset about it was really funny to me.
I mean, it's The View.
It's The View.
That's why.
But of course, the big T really is whether or not The View is going to be canceled and if Rosie's actually coming back. Barbara Walters came back today to co-host.
Wow, it's doing that bad.
So, I mean, I didn't think it was doing that bad. It's not doing great, but I don't know. I thought they were kind of getting in their groove, but I guess y'all ain't watching.
They need a revamp.
Revamp again, but they're trying to bring youngness. Oh, and Michelle Williams is a potential replacement.
Which Michelle Williams?
From
The
Destiny's
short-
Child, baby. She was hosting like twice or something last week. There you go, guys. So we'll be watching The View and see what happens with them. Moving on.
Girl, you gotta get out them group situations.
Shade. Okay, so you take it out. But she worked really well with that group.
With
Okay.
The View?
Yeah.
Oh,
She did.
I
She
might-
actually did surprisingly
watch it.
well. A little bit, yeah. Anyway, so we had the Golden Globes last weekend. Lots of parties happened after the Golden Globes. NBC Universal had a lovely party that we actually got to attend. And apparently so did Kenya Moore and Lupita Nyong'o.
We actually got to talk to Kenya.
Yes, we got to talk to Kenya. Kenya, you guys may or may not know, Real Housewife of Atlanta, Lupita Nyong'o, Academy Award winning actress. So word on the street is Kenya rolled up on Lupita like, hey boo, let's take a selfie. And Lupita was like, and walked away. So Kenya was a little upset, shared it on social media that she felt a little slighted. How y'all feel about that?
I have two things. And both that one, both kind of go against one and the other. So first off, Lupita, what's the big deal? You're taking photos with everybody. Not a big deal. Just take a photo with Kenya and get it over with. Two, I don't know the full extent of it, but in the case of Kenya, you know what? If you're just there to take a selfie, strike up a conversation, get to know Lupita, and then be like, hey, girl, do you mind taking a photo?
Yeah, I mean,
Advice from Phil's Tech.
It's true, dude. I mean, that's it.
I just look at like, okay, I can understand PR-wise why Lupita kind of didn't want to take a picture with Kenya Moore, but then it's kind of like, well, then you're going against the whole Black Hollywood thing. But then beyond all that, just take the picture with Kenya. Like, Lupita probably one didn't even know who she was, and was probably just like, oh, and then it's just like, even if it is Kenya Moore, like, maybe she's just a fan. So you aren't going to take a picture with your fan, Lupita? Your fan? Because on the carpet, Kenya named 2 movies in which she loved and supported, and both of them had Lupita in them. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, Lupita, you shading Kenya? You shading your fans?
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
How did you?
I mean, I would say if the story is even true at all,
Right.
which more than likely it's not, because my guess would be like some other ish was going on and she probably wasn't even paying attention to begin with, and Kenya might not have even gotten close enough really and was just like with her people. Like, and I don't necessarily buy it to begin with.
Kenya had a selfie stick.
Exactly. But in the event that it occurred and she did get shaded, I kind of am Lupita's side with it because, I mean, Kenya seems like the person that would be like tweeting about it, like,
Lupita's
oh my
my
God,
best
Lupita,
friend.
we're besties, like whatever, like, and making it a bigger deal than it is. And that's just not the circle, I guess, that Lupita's trying to run in. And she's still in that, like, you know how some people win an Oscar and then they fall off the face of the earth. She's still trying to build. She's got a few movies coming out and she just wants to be associated with that art and not necessarily with
It
reality.
also depends how
lands.
Lupita turned it down.
Yeah.
These are all facts I don't know.
Yeah, these are all facts.
This is
We're not
all
sure. It's all
allegedly.
gossip and allegedness, but it is what it is. Either way, I think it's pretty funny if she just walks away. But Kenya, you looked real good though at the party.
did.
She looked real good. Moving on. Speaking of walking away, Lord
She didn't
have
do so
mercy.
good on Celebrity Apprentice, though, I will say.
Well,
that. She did
she's-
not.
She didn't do good?
No.
People
Damn, I
aren't
have to
loving
catch
her.
up.
I have to catch up. I haven't seen the last episode. I know she didn't get kicked off though, right?
Here's the thing. What I will say, they're doing the 2-episode thing.
Yeah.
So if you miss an episode, you missed like
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get caught up.
Got to get back on that. Okay. All right. So, getting caught up. VH1 got caught up thinking they had a great show to air.
Good segue.
Oops. No, they didn't. So, for those of you out there who don't know or been under a rock, the show is called Sorority Sisters, aired on VH1. It started airing at the end of last month, I believe, like right before the holidays. It's basically one of their trashy reality shows, but it was centered around young women who are all in Black Greek letter organizations. Most of the women are Deltas. Few of them are AKAs. I think one's a Sigma Gamma Rho. I don't think there are any Zetas on the show. So
that
all the Black Greeks got real mad and started emailing everybody and their cousins and their mamas and their cousins and their cousins' mamas, and we're trying to get all the advertisers to stop advertising on the show. It worked. A lot of advertisers wanted to pull their advertising. We even interviewed Will Packer last week, who said he would not air any of his wedding ringer commercials on the show.
mostly due to the fact that he was in a fraternity.
And mostly due to the fact because he is an alpha himself, and he did not necessarily support it, even though he hasn't seen the show. So now VH1 has come out and basically said, technically the show is not officially canceled, but what they did was move up the 3 remaining shows. They're airing them all tonight, Friday night, at butt bump of the night at 10:01, 11:02, and 12:04, and they're not running the reruns because on VH1, if you miss a show one day, it's gonna rerun 12 times the next day.
So you have to watch it tonight,
so you have to watch it tonight,
or miss the world premiere,
Or just DVR it,
or DVR it, which is also an option. They're gonna air them back to back. And they announced this so coincidentally this past week. I believe it was on Wednesday, which was Founders Day for Delta Sigma Theta. So all the Deltas around the world and on social media rejoice, yeah, we got that stuff off. And Atlanta Journal-Constitution writer Rodney Ho said no network with any intention of bringing a show back would make a move like this. So it's not a stretch to say that it's probably over for the Sorority Sisters. Wah, wah.
Damn.
It went down, guys. It went down. But a lot of people, the big fight right now still is that a lot of people are upset because the letter organizations went after these ladies, but they're fine with the Black women that are on VH1 on all the other shows acting a fool and being represented horribly. But the Black women, just because they were in an elite group organization, they came for those, but they're not helping get rid of the other ones.
I mean, we've been seeing this on television for how long? And so as far as these sororities, that's the point of from what I know about joining a sorority is you're supposed to join the sorority because it represents, once doing that and going through the process of it, you are supposed to represent the sorority and the sorority is supposed to represent you. So if you were to say to me, what are the sorority names? What's one of them?
Delta Sigma Theta.
If you're a Delta, I'm supposed to know by you saying that you're a Delta, I should have a certain understanding of the type of person you are. Isn't that kind of you're supposed to have certain?
You're
isn't that
supposed
the idea
to stand up for the ideals of whatever they are. I don't know which all of them are. I'm not in a sorority myself. I know they have sisterhood and service and all these great things. But my question is that just because the organization stands for that, there's lots of people that are involved in organizations that stand for great things that don't always do great things in their own lives because they're still people and they still do
but
crazy-ish.
They ain't broadcasting on national television.
That's one way to say it, but there's also other women that are broadcasting their mess on television, so why are we so angry, only angry at these and not at the others? Enough to move, I guess.
I'm mad at all of them, to be quite honest. As much as I love watching them and whatnot, I understand.
I watch them.
I do.
I do.
My brain is just as fried as everyone else in the United States. But so I understand that, the entertainment value of it, but I also understand the negativity that comes with it. So I kind of want to look at this that maybe this is a first step in us acknowledging that, okay, maybe these shows are a little too much. And look, we have the power to get rid of one and to make a change. But I think it's about finding that balance of if people aren't going to be entertained by this, what are we going to entertain them with?
The lowest common denominator is always going to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when as life gets harder, you're like, it's been a long day. What do I want to watch? Something smart that's going to take my attention.
Brain.
I got to think about this
I gotta
now.
think.
Or I could just be like, these lives are shittier than mine. It's true.
Ooh, that's
Or they're messier than I am, so it's more entertaining to watch. All I will say is for all the power that you real sorority sisters out there took and you got this off television, exercise that power and get the other stuff off too, because that'd be great.
Right.
But
Since you obviously proved that you can.
But
do
at the
it.
same time, there's literally 1,000 channels on DirecTV alone.
Yeah.
They got to have programming on those channels.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? Something's going to find its way.
Something will, but if there becomes a trend where the
VH1's a
ratchet
breeding
VH1
ground.
is a breeding ground, it's specifically for Black women messiness. And if we've proven that it can work, then do it. Keep doing it. Like, why stop at Sorority Sisters? Like, now the Greeks are free, but can we free all the black women, please? Like, let's try.
Yeah, because that By Felicia show kind of had that
Yes,
negative
the same
stereotype
sort of
around
spin around it.
it. Died down.
And
Sorority
it's
sisters.
interesting too, because it's like you are already, because one would say like, okay, well then everybody that's watching it should do that too. But the point is that you're already an organized group of people that got together and pulled this off. So keep organizing and get the rest of it off.
Show us what being a part of your club does.
You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Use your powers.
All right. Well, either way, we got our power, and that's only proof of the consumer's power to make TV moves. So, in conclusion of this week, guys, we thank you for watching. We want you to make sure that you go to blackhollywoodlive.com and you definitely vote in our Buzz-O-Meter question this week. We want you to find out or tell us who won, Nancy Grace or 2 Chainz. You can YouTube the video, watch the interview yourself because it's definitely comical. You should definitely check that out. And while you're checking that out, head on over to iTunes. Make sure you download everything that is Black Hollywood Live, including this week. And make sure you're giving us ratings. We like 5 stars, but if we're not 5 stars, let us know what we are and tell us why you think that, because we appreciate your comments. We love you. We thank you. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend because we about to start ours. Peace.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.